I cannot be the only person that this week has seen 2 billion videos, TikToks, Instagrams, all about the Jaclyn Hill like TikTok where she was talking about where is my audience. And I have seen a few people talk about this, and I think that I have my own thoughts on this, and it's not necessarily the thoughts that I've seen other people have. And I want to get ready. I bought some of the new things from NYX. I love NYX. NYX is one of my absolute favorite brands, and I bought some of their new things, and I'm especially interested and excited about these new highlighter sticks. These look very promising, although they look a little bit glittery. So I think I'm going to be trying this makeup, and I want to listen to this TikTok together with you and give you my thoughts. So this is the NYX Make and Wonder Soft Matte Buildable Foundation, and I have it in Buff. 15 Buff. I don't know if this is the right shade. I got all of this from the NYX website, and maybe it's a light medium neutral, which should be is that a clean sponge? No. So before we get into talking about any of this, that is actually, oh my gosh, I never am really good at like shade matching myself online, but like look at that. Wait. No, that's a good shade match. That's a good shade match. Okay, good for me and good for NYX. And that looks incredible, by the way. Maybe a smidgen, yeah, lighter than my body, but I can always bronze up. It's easier when it's a smidgen lighter than a smidgen darker. So what I want to say first before we start going into the Jaclyn Hill thing is that if you have ever been on my channel before, I am not an overly negative person online. I'm not the person to dogpile. There's been a lot of dogpiling going on the internet, and I'm also not the person to really go into gossip for the sake of gossiping to get the money. Because listen, views are money. And when you're seeing those drama channels that talk about whatever's popular right now, and you look at their views, that is thousands of dollars in AdSense. Thousands of dollars in AdSense. So remember that as well, that some of these people might be talking about, oh my god, influencers are making so much money, they're not worth this money, it's not a work, it's not a job. These people are also making thousands of dollars. They're easily making 6 figures a year, probably multiple 6 figures a year, talking about other people's inauthenticity and all the drama that's going on. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, listen, go get your money. I'm just saying that sometimes I see people talk about, I'm so humble. I'm not like that. I don't make money like that. And they try to be like us, you know, the people that are not making a lot of money, the people who are struggling. Meanwhile, as someone who's been doing YouTube for 10 years, I know how much money they're making. With those views, babe, you're also making multiple 6 figures a year. And then they're trying to push this like, oh, but I drive a Toyota. I live in this rental apartment. I don't show you any of my designer goods. But that doesn't mean that they're struggling with money, and it doesn't mean that they're not also making a lot of money. And I think that that's what it comes down to, this whole discussion. It's not about having versus not having. It is about having versus showing that you're having. Because I see a lot of people talking about influencers that are doing it right, and they're probably making as much money, but they're not showing people a really rich lifestyle. And I also see people mentioning some creators as riching right. And usually when they talk about people that are riching right, they're usually talking about people that inherited their money, like old money versus new money, which is also crazy because it's like, even if you don't agree with how people made their money, they still made their own money versus just being born and being lucky enough to be born to someone rich. It is crazy how we think being born into wealth is riching right versus working for your money is riching wrong because you're showing it off. That part is a little bit crazy to me, but I do agree. Flaunting your wealth to an audience that might be struggling is a little bit distasteful. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is a little bit tasteful. I don't think that that's a good idea. You don't have to lie and say that you're poor. I'm looking at you, Shane Dawson, that was a millionaire. You don't have to be like, oh my God, I'm so poor. I'm like you. I'm also struggling with money when they're not struggling with money. That's also inauthentic. But there's a difference between lying and flaunting your wealth. Okay, this foundation looks incredible. This is definitely a soft matte. I would say this is a medium coverage. It already dried down. Yeah, no transfer. That, magnificent. Magnificent. I'm so impressed. Okay, that was the foundation. I will link all the things that I'm talking about down below because, again, this is what I do for a living. A little bit a little bit longer. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this thing with Jaclyn is because some of the things that she is saying is some of the things that I have been saying too, but I think it comes off differently in maybe in her TikTok because she's been flaunting her wealth for so vividly for such a long time. So let's listen to the TikTok.
I want to talk about something that I feel like maybe is a little controversial, maybe not, but I feel like no one really talks about it on social media. At least I don't see this conversation being had. But I think about this every day. And this is coming from like an old school beauty content creator. I started on YouTube 14 years ago. Like that is insane. I have been here for every single era, consistently uploading, downloading every new platform, like watch the birth of TikTok, you know, like I remember when Instagram became a thing. I was already on YouTube when Instagram became a thing, and I downloaded Instagram, and like it was like this new app and we were posting the square photos. Like I've been here for all of it. And I feel like we're in such a weird place on social media as content creators where I am like fighting. I feel like I am like trying to run through mud to connect with my followers at this point. I feel like there are so many bots, and I feel like these apps are now controlling who views my videos. And I feel like I get punished and penalized for not showing up and creating all the time, in the sense of,
so here's the part where I feel like sometimes with the drama that I'm seeing. I bought this new powder as well. I bought it in the shade Sugar Serve Shade 1. I bought the lightest shade. I've been really into a bright under eye again. I don't know, sue me. So this is where I think, where a lot of people have been criticizing Jaclyn about is that like, oh, people are not showing up to your videos because you're not authentic anymore, you're flaunting your wealth, it's not relatable. And I think that in a way, I think that they probably have a point with that. Again, there are some creators that have been able to transfer their audience into a new segment, a new type of videos, like Jackie Aina or Laura Lee, that have been doing a lot of let me see if I can get a little, they've been doing a lot of beauty content, but are now doing more lifestyle content, but they've been able to transfer their audience and still have a career within more of a lifestyle. I personally am not the person that's really into lifestyle content, which is why I don't really watch neither Laura Lee or Jaclyn Hill or Jackie Aina anymore. But I also think that it depends on for what reason your audience was there with you, like from the beginning. And I think maybe with Jaclyn, she's had so many controversies that she kind of like lost the likability. That as an influencer, if you are gonna have a community, if you don't have likability anymore, which honestly I think has been one of like my problems too. I'm too blunt online. I say what I think, and I don't think that always serves you right. But I think for her, she had too much controversy around her character, so that when she tried to get into content that was more about her as a person, people just weren't really here for that. But what she's talking about here, the algorithm changing, the algorithms controlling whether or not the people who actually chose to follow you gets to see your content, that is not incorrect. The algorithms on all of these platforms have changed. I mean, both Instagram and YouTube, and I'm sure TikTok has something similar, have admitted that they have changed the algorithm so that you're not always served the content that you have chosen to subscribe to. What she's saying is not incorrect. This is Editing Angie coming at you, just clarifying a couple of points, because I realized watching this video back myself that I'm not getting my message across clearly until quite literally the end of the video. And with this video, I am simply just trying to discuss that two things can be true at the same time. Some of the things that Jaclyn is saying in her TikTok aren't incorrect, while simultaneously criticizing her for flaunting her lavish lifestyle, making her unrelatable, and making people feel tired of her also can be correct. Both of those things can be correct at the same time, which is what I'm trying to get across in this video, but not really. Honestly, I don't know if I'm fully doing, this is also like why I could never do commentary, because I'm looking through my own video and I'm like, bitch, what are you saying? I'm just trying to discuss why some of the things that Jaclyn is saying isn't incorrect, but it still comes off in very bad taste, because complaining about not getting views when you've been spending the past couple of years showing how much money this life has given you just comes off incredibly tone deaf. So I will say the first part of this video is going to be me discussing what parts of the TikTok actually isn't entirely incorrect. And the second half of the video is going to be me discussing basically how people are reacting with the flaunting of wealth and just where maybe like the influencer industry is going, because I really do think that we're going to see a change, because I think that people are getting to a breaking point where they're like, this isn't inspirational content anymore. And I don't think that I wasn't clear enough in the beginning of this video, what is this video gonna be about. And when I'm watching the video, it takes me forever to get into any kind of criticism of this TikTok, which isn't how I feel. I definitely do think that a lot of the criticism that's said about a bunch of creators right now that are maybe centering their entire content around showing how much wealth they have and marketing it as aspirational, when maybe it's not really aspirational, it's maybe more irritable. That unfortunately isn't being discussed until the end of the video. So I just wanted to come in kind of quickly and talk about that, because I also know that a lot of people do not watch videos to the end, and I don't want it to come across as like in defense of Jaclyn, because I definitely do think, as I'm gonna say in the end of the video, some things maybe should just be discussed with friends and not with online community. Okay, now let's get back into the video. I'll try and make some maybe chapters as well, dividing it in and showing you like where am I changing, talking about different things. I hope this makes sense. Okay, back to past Angie. This powder is very like loose and finely milled. It reminds me a lot of that powder, the Tarte one that I tried this year. It reminds me a lot of that one, the one with the purple lid. It's really nice, actually. I do enjoy how this is looking. I need to wax my upper lip. Don't look at that. If you saw a mustache, no you didn't. Avert your eyes. There has been a change, and I think part of, like, if you go back to YouTube right now, when I started YouTube, let me see if I can get a bronzer. Do I have a bronzer here? Let me go get a bronzer. Oh, I have one here. When I started YouTube, your main page, your front page, was mainly the people that you subscribed to, the people that you chose to watch. Eventually, the algorithm has changed, and nowadays, none of the people I subscribe to is ever on my suggested page. Ever. Ever. I never see any of the people that I subscribe to and that I go into and look at all of their videos. They are never on my front page. And I don't know why this suggested feature has disappeared, because for YouTubers, if you don't serve the videos on the front page to the people who subscribe to you, a lot of people never get to see them, because also over the course of the YouTube front page, the subscription button has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and more obscure. And with the last update, it's literally so invisible on the front page that most people will probably just miss it. I think that us creators are sometimes doing a really poor job explaining when we say that stuff are changing. We're not explaining fully what we're meaning, because at the back end of YouTube, I can see how many times YouTube is recommending my videos to other people on the front page and on the search bar and all of that. And they can tell me, okay, how many times did we suggested your video to someone? Did someone actually click on it? And that's what Jaclyn is going to talk soon about, engagement. My click-through rate on my videos, which means how many people of the people who are served the suggestion actually click on the video. That has never changed. But the amount of times that YouTube serves my video to people that are either subscribed or not subscribed, that number has gone down, showing that the algorithm no longer suggests my videos to people that they think will watch it, but then when they do, still the same amount of people will click on the video. And this is the algorithm change that people are talking about. And of course, with me, I've said that before, my views are definitely down compared to what they used to be. And I 100% think that it's me. I'm not saying it's the algorithm, oh my god, it's this mysterious algorithm. But I definitely think that the algorithm is part of the equation. But I do think that the main reason why my views are down is because I've been on YouTube a long time. A lot of my audience that I collected back when the beauty space was like poppin', 2015, 16, 17, 18, those people are doing other things right now. They're probably living busy lives. They're maybe not having as much time for YouTube, but maybe not interested as much in YouTube anymore as they used to be, which is to be expected. It's kind of crazy that I'm still interested in YouTube, if we're going to be honest, because I am the kind of person that gets tired of things. And I also think that like I said, I don't think that I always come off as maybe the most serene, sweet, positive little like flower. I come off kind of harsh sometimes. I say what I think, and that does not always serve me right. And I do think that that makes me sometimes online look a little bit unlikable. And I think that I just kind of have to accept that I don't have the kind of personality that in the long run makes me a likable person online. Which again is fine because I'm a likable person in real life. So I'm just going to put my eggs in that basket instead. I'm going to use a bit of the Riveting Rhubarb before we go into the actual highlighter. But with that being said, I do think, just as what people were commenting to Jaclyn, the biggest reason why my views are down is because I'm not doing, with those other things combined, the algorithm and me, like my personality, people are tired of me, people don't like me for whatever reason, like it is what it is. I'm not doing the kind of content that is getting views. If I would have put up this video that I'm talking about now 3 days ago with me being like, and then just a picture of Jaclyn and just lies or liar or something equivalent on the thumbnail, that would have gotten me a lot of views. But it's not the kind of content I want to do. It's not the kind of audience I want to have. I'm not that person. I am too happy-go-lucky, naive as a person. I don't want to criticize people like that because I don't know people. I don't know what's going on in their lives, and I just don't feel like I am perfect enough to come in and criticize people for that, especially not for money. Because again, all of these videos are being made because people know there's money to be had in piling on Jaclyn or piling on Michaela or piling on whatever other creator has said something silly the last week. And this is just a week of Jaclyn's pile on. Next week it'll be someone else. Let's continue, and I'm gonna do my brows.
I took off, like, I didn't post a TikTok, I think, for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe. Like, sorry, shit, life happens. I've been doing this for 14 years. Maybe I'm a little burnt out, God forbid. But then I come back to TikTok and it's like I'm put in like this TikTok jail.
I do want to say, a lot of people will say that this is not a real job. And as someone who has had other jobs, I worked 10 years in the restaurant business and I worked 8 years in an office job, like a more, not a corporate, but like for the government basically. I definitely agree that this is the easiest job I've ever had, but it's the most psychologically hard job I've ever had, because it is really hard to have that pressure on you all the time, knowing that I have to perform, people hate you, you have to be on all the time, you have to be working all the time. It's very time consuming. But in the regards of like, oh, a hard job, of course not. I mean, working in the restaurant business was gruesome. Like it was hard for sure. But what she says here is also correct. The algorithm will punish you if you don't upload for a bit, unless you are one of those channels that you upload once every year and you get 2 million views, like H Bomber guy. Like that's not what us beauty YouTubers are. That's not the segment we're in. And we can't just be pointing out, but look at that person, but look at that person. People who upload twice a year and get millions of views, they're the anomaly. The rest of us have to be very consistent, otherwise the algorithms will punish us.
Where my views are complete shit. No one is seeing, like, it's one thing if my engagement is shit, meaning like maybe my views are high, but my comments are low and the likes are low. It's like, okay, so my audience wasn't feeling the vibes of this video. That's fine. But I'm talking like...
This is the part where I think being a YouTuber, you might not understand the difference between views and engagement. Views is not engagement. Views are views. Engagement is likes and comments and shares. That's the engagement. So views being low but engagement being high actually does mean what she says here, that for some reason this video wasn't watched by people. YouTube usually means that either the algorithm didn't push it or the thumbnail and the title wasn't interesting. With TikTok, I don't know what that means at all, because they have this other algorithm where you just like, you know, scrolling, like why wasn't it showed in the feed? So those are two different things, but I still think that all the criticism when it comes to like, you know, flaunting your wealth and people being tired of her, I still think that that's totally correct, but that shouldn't have anything to do with views in this regard. Those are two different things, and they might be aligning at this very point, because there might be a time in people's lives where they're like, okay, this is when I'm tired of Jaclyn. But 1 million people being tired of Jaclyn in the same week, that's maybe not as probable. It's more probable that it happened during maybe a change in algorithm with TikTok. And I'm not saying this in defense of Jaclyn. I'm just saying this because I think that some creators with drama channel is purposefully misconstruing this specific part, because they know that engagement and views are two different things. But they're saying this because it will get more views being absolutely critical about everything that Jaclyn says. Again, for the sake of dogpiling, because that is where the money for them is right now.
When you have 1 million followers, but your videos are only getting 30,000 views, this is just not the way it used to be. Like when I started, it was so organic. Like you subscribed to the people that you liked, you opened up those apps, or you got a notification on your phone saying so-and-so just posted a video, you go, you engage with it. And like, it was that simple. Now it's like, I put videos out there and sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, where is my audience? And it's just, I feel like my audience is really on Instagram stories. Like my girls are there for me on Instagram stories. Like I really know who I'm talking to over there, but I miss the days of knowing who I'm posting my content for. And I'm just like, how do like these new creators grow at this point? Like, do the new creators out there, do you guys feel like you're connecting with an audience, or do you just feel like you're kind of throwing your videos out into cyberspace and like hoping that it's gonna stick? Like, I don't know. And like my comments, like I'll post a video and within 10 seconds, I'll get like 15 comments and they're all slightly the same. And I'm like, okay, so like these are like bot comments, like these aren't really my followers. Like, I don't care about that. I'm at the point in my life and in my career where like, I only wanna post for my girls. Like, the ones that I've built this relationship and this trust with, but like TikTok isn't even showing my stuff to those people. So I'm like, I don't know. It's like these apps control who sees our stuff, and like the audience that we worked hard to build isn't even ours. It's owned by these apps, and we just have to like hope and pray that after posting our content, these apps are going to choose to show our content to our audience who chose to follow us in the first place. I'm just so confused, and I don't see a lot of people having this conversation. This will probably put me in TikTok jail for like the next 6 months. So if you see me, hi, I love you and I miss you, and that's it.
Okay, so what she's saying there, again, it's not incorrect. In the beginning, posting on YouTube 10 years ago, I haven't been on YouTube as long as Jaclyn, the most people that watched your videos was your subscribers. That was the bulk of the people who watched your videos. Right now, it is more of a 50-50 split. And she is correct in saying that the apps are making active changes to not show the people who subscribe to you your content. I mean, Instagram has literally made updates about this, saying that right now our feed is not going to be the people that you subscribe. You probably notice that in like Instagram too, that like you get on in the feed and more than half of the things that you're seeing in the feed are people that you never followed. And you're like, what you doing here in my feed? I understand like sponsored things, but like non-sponsored things just randomly in your feed. And you're like, what did I do to get this on my feed? Because I get that all the time where I'm like, what on earth have I been clicking on to get this in my feed? And the people that I actually follow, I have to actively search them on Instagram. And I feel like it used to be the opposite. It used to be that we actively had to search for the people when we were looking for something we didn't follow. We had to actively search for that. But now it's the opposite. We have to actively search for the people we did choose to follow. And that's the part where I'm like, I do agree. I do agree with what she says. But then, of course, the criticism that she's getting in like, it's like you're unrelatable, it's not authentic anymore. And I also think that being honest and being authentic and being relatable are two different things. She is being very authentic in her wealth. Doesn't make her relatable. Those are two different things. She's probably like what she's showing you, the wealth that she's living in, that's probably exactly the life that she's living. She's probably showing you a very authentic view of like what her life is like, just shopping and doing parties and like, I mean, I can't relate to that. That's not the money. That's not the money that I'm making, especially now with everything that's going on in academia, and like we don't even know what the future is going to bring, and we don't even know where we're going to be staying next year. I'm living in a very insecure future, and especially because I've chosen to not do YouTube full time for my mental health, because I quite simply cannot do it anymore. That's probably as real and raw as I'm gonna be with you, but I have spent too many days shaking and crying and hyperventilating. My mental health is not built for this career. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm not built for this life. And when I see, and it's not necessarily like the critique either. It's like, it's mental health issues that I had before going on YouTube. It's not that I got it through YouTube. I already had it. I should point that out. But when I see this kind of dogpiling in the beauty community, I can't help but think, how are they getting through that? Because like, if this happened to me, you'd never see me online again. Like that's the last time you're seeing me. Okay, I'll never upload again. Like, adios. Best of luck with all of that, because I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think that's the part also that we're forgetting, that somebody's misery is your entertainment. And that's why I don't like drama channels, because I feel like it's missing nuance. Let's talk about the highlighter sticks. These are so pretty. I'm going to show you some close-ups. This is the lavender one. What shades did I get? My Melt Era. Okay, next. It's like a lavender one with like blue, like very visible sparkles, I will say. Very visible sparkles. And then we have this one that is called Meltdown. Is this on the right one, or did I don't even know. Did I put this on the right one? I might have mistaken these. But this is like a peach with like pink sparkles. I think you can see the pink shift. Very visible sparkles though. I'm a little bit worried about that. I don't know if I'm gonna, like, how creamy is this? Oh, it's very creamy. Ooh. I feel like I'm gonna regret this. Mistakes are about to be made. I kind of want to, like, put this on directly. Again, I feel, again, I'm taking one for the team. Every time I see something in a stick like this, I am like, okay, but can it be used from the stick? Because I'm like, what does this look like if I'm like painting this on? Because I need to know, can I use this from a stick, or do I have to put it on the brush first? This goes on pretty good, actually. Oh my gosh, that is I knew this color was going to be beautiful. So I had a powder blush on under. Again, I always try to use products in different ways to be like, what kind of a product is this? How can I use this? And putting it on straight on a powder blush from the stick is probably the hardest and roughest handling the stick is ever gonna have. If it can do this, I mean, it can do anything. Let's be honest. And that, oh, that is beautiful. Okay, let me see if I can put on a little, I'm gonna see if I can put on a little bit more. I'm using the Singe F07, which is my preferred highlighter. I mean, clearly it's my preferred highlighter brush because I made it, but that's how I like to put on a little bit more of a creamy or a putty highlighter. I put it on the side of the bristles and then I build it on. That is absolutely, oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, next question is, does this set down or is this stick city? That's really pretty. Okay, back to the discussion about wealth. Do I think that people are sick of influencers flaunting their money? Yes. I also think it is very tone deaf of influencers to be doing these giant hauls. And like that, Michaela did a haul for $100,000, I think, like just buying everything she saw at Miu Miu, basically. Is that tone deaf? When we are basically in a recession that everybody refuses to call a recession? Yes. Oh my God, yes, of course it is. It's like, you know, taking a bunch of money and just like waving it in front of people. It's so tone deaf. I totally understand. Do I think that that makes her a bad person? No, but I think it makes her probably just not being able to like fully read a room. And I think sometimes when people are not in a bad situation economically, they kind of forget that other people are. And I think also, and this is something that I try to remind myself of. Now I'm coming into this, but look at me, I'm so humble. But I try to remind myself, how did it feel when people talked about money when I didn't have any money? Because I definitely had a time, and again, not rich, but also I'm not a struggling artist. Like, I can pay my bills, I'm fine. But I had a time in my life where I had no money for food. I had to eat at work to be able to eat at all. I had a time in my life where I had to sell my stuff to people at uni to be able to afford my bills. Definitely have had times in my life where I have not been doing so hot financially. I have been in debt, and I am very thankfully debt-free right now, but that took a really long time to get rid of that, and it was not fun and it was not easy. And with that, I don't want to say like, oh my God, I understand what people are going through, because I don't understand exactly what people are going through today, because I'm not living the situation that other people are. But I do think that some influencers really forgot. They forgot what it was like to see someone flaunt all that they had when they don't. And like all that money that Michaela and Jaclyn and all of these influencers are spending on things that doesn't matter, like designer goods, Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas decor, like silly things that might not matter to them but might matter a lot to you, like eating out all the time. Seeing that, of course, eventually you'll just be like, this isn't good for me. I can't like be part of this scene anymore. I can't see this all the time. So you kind of opt out, and I totally get that. I mean, that's why I like aspirational content, but I don't like aspirational lifestyle content when it's lifestyles that I will never have, and I quite honestly don't really want to have, and I don't want to be part of funding it either. That's why I don't follow that. But I love following aspirational fashion, because I can look at that and be like, oh, that's a nice silhouette. I won't be able to buy this $20,000 outfit, but you know what? I could probably like do this silhouette with things I have at home. Also, I'm drinking green juice because I'm healthy. See, there's a broccoli here. It means it's healthy. Broccoli is very small though. How much broccoli is in this? 110 milligrams of broccoli. Milligrams. So a broccoli was within the vicinity of the smoothie when it was being made. Healthy. I'm gonna do a little bit of lip liner. I also did buy one of these jelly jobs from NYX. So I want to try that. I think this is Radical Rosewood, right? Yeah, this is my favorite. That's why mine is so small. I just think that a lot of creators, they get really big doing something. Makeup, hair care, decor. And then they think, oh my God, my life is so interesting and fun now that I am rich all of a sudden. I should show that instead because I live such a fun life, not realizing that the life is only fun for you because you're the one living it. It's not as fun for us watching it as it is for you living it. And they changed your content from the thing that made them rich into just showing how rich they now are, and they just kind of like lose their audience because of that. Because at the end of the day, I will say, people are always rooting for the underdog. They always want you to make it, but then when you do, they'll find ways to try and bring you down, because it's much easier to root for underdog than it is to root for someone that is successful. But I also think that there's a lot of creators that are making it really, really hard for themselves, being so obvious in, look at all the money I made. And then again, I think that it's totally fair for small creators. I have so many of my friends right now that are suffering through this new algorithm that used to get maybe this amount of thousand of views, but now that the algorithm has changed, maybe they only get a couple of hundred of views. I feel like it's more fair for them to say like, this new algorithm sucks. I think it's more fair for them to say that than someone that is like, my luxury hauls are not getting as much views anymore. It just doesn't feel as easy to be sympathetic regarding that than someone else that is just using that extra money to maybe fun date nights or family vacation once a year or something like that. Ooh, this applicator is like plastic. How do I feel about that? I feel like I'm trying to put on lip gloss with a spatula. Why is this spatula? Is it supposed to be an applicator? Is mine like off, or is it supposed to be a spatula? What is this smell? This smell is something from my childhood, and I don't mean that in a good way. I hate this applicator. Color is beautiful though, but how am I supposed to get this even? It's a freaking spatula. Okay, now I need you to tell me, is it supposed to be a spatula or is mine broken? Is there... Hello? Is there like a piece missing? I really love how this looks. This is beautiful. I got the shade Bling Me Jelly. It's a dark brown with sparkle, because apparently I'm a sparkle lip queen now, but the spatula? I don't know about the spatula. That one got me a little bit confused. I also bought the new Inky Sticks Cream Gel Liner, and I think we're gonna use two of the colors today. I'm gonna use the purple and the blue, and I'm just gonna do a very easy eye look. I say now, but we'll see. But I do think that social media is changing, but I also think that the audience is so fickle right now, and they will turn on, like, an audience will turn on a creator so quickly right now. Like, it is actually crazy how quick a creator can go from being really loved. I'm looking at you. What was it, Becca Bloom? You know, the creator that everybody was saying like, oh my gosh, she's witching right, and then all of a sudden she was witching a little bit too close to the sun, and now everybody hates her. Like, an audience can, like, it can turn on you so easily. But I also think that when you start showing too many rich things on your feed, people start adding that up in their head, and they start thinking, well, that was my student debt. That was my future house. That was my entire grocery budget for this month. And they start being resentful instead of being happy for you. I'm going to be using something that I can't show you on camera. Don't be mad at me, okay? Don't be mad at me, but I am going to use a little bit of something just to make an easy eye look, so don't be upset with me, okay? And it's not that I don't think that people are like rooting for you or wanting to see you succeed. I think it's more of a, okay, we're happy for you, but you have to rub it in. I think it's more a case of that. And I also find it fascinating, especially in the case of Jaclyn Hill, because I feel like Jaclyn was a creator that had so many like streams of income. She was doing her own brands, she was doing all of these different platforms, she was like doing collabs, and as a creator, that's like the perfect like mix, because everybody's like, oh my god, diversify your income, diversify your income. And she was out here diversifying away. She was having different brands in different categories, and she was having a YouTube, and she was having TikTok and Instagram, and she was really out here like just making money in so many different ways, in a way that most people are never going to be able to diversify their income. Because a lot of people, when they say diversify their income, they're like, oh yeah, I have AdSense, and then I have affiliate income, and then I have sponsorship money. I'm like, that's not diversifying your income. That's all from YouTube. That's all YouTube. And I think that her choice in closing down her brands for, I mean, she says she didn't want to be a brand owner, which fair. Being a brand owner can be very stressful. I definitely can testify to that, and I never had anything even close to being as big as what she has. Or if it was because of different issues that the companies were having, we'll never probably know the exact like truth behind it. If we listen to drama channels, it's definitely not her choice. If we listen to her, it's 100% her choice. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. That's what I would assume. She would probably be able to continue all of her brands financially if she wanted to, but she probably was like, you know what, this isn't worth this struggle. But now that she is basically only uploading on TikTok and Instagram, and on Instagram you can't really monetize on Instagram unless you're doing sponsorships and of course affiliate linking. So she kind of is relying on people buying her stuff through Instagram stories and getting views on TikTok. And listen, Jaclyn Hill made millions. She probably invested that. She is getting like kickback on that every single month and year. I don't think that she will go poor. I don't think any of these creators, even if they stop making money today, they don't have to go out and get a 9-to-5. They probably, hopefully, they were smart enough to save some of that money so that they can live out of that even after their career is like over. But the fact that she had a lot of streams of income and was a really diversified like income stream YouTuber or influencer, and then chose not to be, it does make a bigger difference than when TikTok is not doing that well for her. If she feels like she's getting less views, because if that is like something that she is relying on to still be able to have an income, like a stream of income, of course that's more visible for her. I always thought it was so weird that she chose to not have any brands at all. Or chose, again, we don't know if she chose that, but again, I have friends that are telling me, I can't believe you're not going to be doing YouTube anymore. That's an income. Do you not want to make money? And I'm just like, yeah, but I can't. I can only imagine that maybe Jaclyn was feeling the same. She's like, it's not worth how I'm feeling about it. Again, this is just me speculating. I'm just tying it back to my own like lived situation. Okay, so these are the inky sticks, and they're like a little, you click to get the liner up. I'm intrigued to try these out. I think I'm gonna do like a purple. I don't know how to work with these. I think I'm gonna do like a line, and then I think I'm gonna line it with a liquid liner on top. Ooh, this is very creamy. So I am gonna do a blue going to a purple. I'm gonna do it in the waterline too, I think. Does this work in a waterline? And maybe on that one. We'll see if I can do it in the waterline. And then I'm gonna line it with a little bit of black liner. I just wanted to have something light and bright today, because this is what we're doing. I think the look is done. I will say, I like all of these products, but this eyeliner, when I put it on, it almost felt a little thick. I will try it a little bit more and see how it is. And I will say, this looks incredible. Like, it looks so good. but it is a little bit sticky still. But I did put a lot on as well, so it could be that. And it might dry down even more. Remember when I tried that House Labs highlighter crayon that they had? And when I tried it, it took even longer for it to like dry down, because now when I'm touching it, it's kind of fine. So I feel like this is the same kind of formula as the House Labs one. Incredibly sticky to begin with, and if you give it more time, we're talking like 30 minutes, it will dry down, because now it doesn't feel that bad. It's still a little, like there's a little tack to it, but it's not sticky. So I really like how it looks. It looks incredible, but it definitely takes some extra time to dry down, and I would like it to dry down even a little bit more than what it is right now. But I will report back to you about that in the future. I hope that you got where I was coming from in this video. Sometimes as a viewer of social media, it's easy to miss the nuance of like why certain type of like videos are being made. And the reason why you are seeing so many videos about this Jaclyn Hill TikTok, I mean, including me, I wanted to talk about it too, is because it is a subject that people are interested in right now. And people love negative content. So the more negative you are, the more views you're gonna get and the more money you're gonna make. Was the TikTok distasteful? I mean, yeah, in a bit. I don't think that it's always a good look. I mean, I know that for a fact. As soon as you start talking about views or anything like that, people are gonna think that you are some type of way. They're not gonna like that. And someone being as extremely successful as Jaclyn has been, making so much money as she has made, it just comes off in the wrong way to anyone watching that, being like, why are you complaining? Even if you made 1/10 of what you are making, you would still make so much more money than I would ever make. And I almost think that there is things that you should probably just talk to your friends about. And I mean, I've made that mistake too. I've said things online that I probably should have said to my friends and not said online. Like, I've made that mistake too. So I totally understand like where it's coming from. And I can never fully even relate to the amount of success that people like Jaclyn or Manny or Laura or Michaela, like the type of success that they're having, I can never relate to that. Like, that's not the reality that I've ever lived in or ever will live in. But I've always said, I said that way back, back when I was popping online, back when I had a lot of people and eyes on me, I said with social media, when it comes to trends, you either go with the trend or you accept that you're no longer gonna get views. And I think that that's where we're at right now with social media. A lot of people are doing the kind of content that used to get a lot of views, and either they're sad or discouraged or confused why they're not getting the same amount of views anymore. And you're either gonna have to accept that the content that you do gets less views, or you're gonna have to change it up and do something else. Or you can do what I do, which is just being like, peace out. Because I'm not fully interested in doing the kind of thing that are getting views right now. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna be like silently, not so silently, I guess, watching from the sidelines and just uploading whenever I feel like it instead. I'm still gonna be uploading. I keep saying like, oh, I'm quitting YouTube, but technically I'm quitting YouTube as a job. Quitting YouTube as a job, and I am just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. I have ideas. You know what I've decided? 2026 is gonna be the year where I don't think I'm gonna talk about anything personal online. Okay, I don't mean that. I probably will, but I will be giving as little as possible of what's going on in my personal life online, because it is nobody's business. And I was gonna say I'm gonna be I can never be mysterious. I am not a mysterious person, but I am definitely gonna share less of me and my journey and what I'm doing and what my husband is doing and what's going on in my life outside of the internet. And I'm gonna enjoy keeping that for myself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a comment down below. Remember to be nice and respectful. We don't need to be angry online, and you don't need to be like cussing out Jaclyn down below either. She's not going to be reading these comments. And imagine if she went in and read those comments and saw that you were calling it all kinds of names. There's no need for that. We can discuss things without being unnecessarily mean online. And I think that's the nuance that I feel like sometimes is missing. Like, we can discuss things without going into like name calling and being like so aggressive about it. I've never met Jaclyn. I never will meet Jaclyn. I have no idea who she is as a person. And even though I disagree with the kind of content that she's doing right now and some of the choices that she has made with her content before, doesn't mean that I'm gonna go to like name calling. Can we like less of that in 2026? If you're interested in any of these things, they're gonna be in the description box, and I will see you tomorrow. Actually, I think I will see you tomorrow on my second channel, because we're going to be talking about all the books that I read in 2025. I think that's going to be on my second channel, which is in the triple digits.